Hi. So it's been a long day. It's really rainy outside, and yeah, it's nearly spring. It's 2012, and it's the 5th of March. And my name's James Diamond, and uh, I've been enjoying a lot of videos on YouTube for several years. Um, I like the way that it all works socially. And one of my very close friends has been posting up videos for a while, so I thought I'd respond to one of his videos with one of my own. It's a series of questions. It's known as the YouTube survey, and I'm just going to try and rifle through them as quickly as possible. So here we go. The first question is, tell us about your first kiss. Now, I do remember kissing a girl at primary school, but we're not going to get into that one because I genuinely, don't know much about that. Suffice to say that, yeah, primary school, I'm not entirely sure that counts. So I'm going to go with my first sort of passionate kiss, where, I was like, yeah, this is what kissing is all about, because this girl she was a good kisser. Her name was Nicola Oakland, and I met her at a theatre group, which was something that I used to be very into when I was younger. And she was quite a good girl outwardly, but she was a bit of a rebel, really, behind closed doors. And yeah, we got on quite well. We flirted outrageously, and we were out one day. It was pouring with rain, and yeah, we just like all hugged up because of the cold. And yeah, we kissed. It was pretty awesome. Ever since then, I have to say, like, ever since then, that whole idea of sort of kissing in the rain seems a lot less romantic, because I distinctly remember making a complete hash of the whole thing. But yeah, it was damn good. It was, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Most expensive item of clothing you've ever bought is question 2. I bought a lot of clothing in my time. I have been through phases of being a bit of a fashion victim, which sucks. I think it would probably have to be a leather jacket that I bought when I was 14, 15. I still have it, which is good, but I don't really wear it. In fact, I rarely wore it after I bought it because it was so pricey. It was a leather jacket. We went on a school trip to London, and I went down with a group of friends, and we were going to look at some guitars, and I was in a heavy metal band at the time, so I figured that a leather jacket would be the right thing to do. So what I did was took my friends. We went to a leather jacket shop. I saw a biker's jacket, and I was, I'll have that one right there. And it was £180, brand new. Although since having bought it, I've seen a zillion like it, and sometimes they're sort of like 20, 30. But this one's still very heavy, very high quality leather, so I don't feel like I was ripped off or anything. But the problem was I only had, I think, £120 in my wallet at the time, and that was all my money for the day. And I knew I had money in my bank account, and so I asked my friend if she would lend me some money so I could buy the jacket, as opposed to having to go to the bank and then come back. And she agreed. So I gave the money to the shop guy, and then my friend legged it out of the shop with my jacket. And I had that whole new toy fever thing where you're sort of like, that's mine, that's mine. So I chased after her, and we had a massive row, which seems ridiculous now, but at the time, it was so stupid having a row in the middle of London streets over the leather jacket. And of course, all these passers-by were seeing us arguing, and they were seeing, two 16-year-old kids literally bawling at each other. Really very uncool, but the leather jacket was pretty cool. Still have it, like I said, and it hangs up at my in the hallway at my parents' house, and I think my dad wears it from time to time. But I think I've worn it 4 times in total, so it's quite expensive. It says here, the first job you ever wanted as a kid. Well, I can distinctly remember wanting to be a stormtrooper in Star Wars. I thought their outfit was pretty cool. They had blasters, and for years I thought that Darth Vader was actually a good guy. So yeah, that's kind of confusing. So I wanted to be a stormtrooper, but that's not really the job that I wanted as a kid. As a kid, I really wanted to be a bat warden. That is someone that looks after colonies, or colonies of bats in the wild, or a marine biologist. The second one, inspired by The Spy Who Loved Me, where James Bond poses as being a marine biologist. The bat warden one manifested itself by me building some bat boxes when I was a kid. I used to really like going out at dusk. I had a dog and I'd walk it, and you'd sort of see pipistrelles about, sort of buzzing about, catching insects as the sun was going down. Occasionally you'd see like a long-eared, or on our travels when I was a kid or on holiday, you might see some sort of long-eared bats or things like that. I remember I used to learn all the Latin names for them, thinking it would come in handy one day, and of course over time I've gradually forgotten, apart from perhaps a vampire bat, which is probably the most famous bat there is, and the Latin name for that, if anyone's interested, is desmodus. So yeah, that was the Latin for that. And the marine biologist one never really took off, because I realised that really all I wanted to do was go swimming with lots of tropical fish. And sharks being one of my favourite creatures in the entire wide world. That was inspired by watching Jaws, and Ron and Valerie Taylor, who used to go diving a lot. But when you realise that there's two people in the entire world that are that good with sharks, then you realise that you might not actually get up there. And also, being English, you're more likely to end up knee deep in horrible algae, sewage-filled rivers than you are swimming just off the Cayman Islands or something like that with beautiful tropical fish. So yeah, both short-lived, but yeah, they were the first ones. Scooting on quickly, because I realise I'm jabbering quite a bit. Tell us about your group of school friends. Well, the initial survey I had from this was from my friend Luke Kenyon, and I wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for him. He describes this very well. There were four of us. We were in a band. It was an awful band, if I'm honest, but we absolutely loved it with a passion that only teenagers can have. The thing that was probably the most remarkable about it was because we were all very close. We all had our, we were like a TV supergroup from the mid '80s. All of us had our own little skills and talents. The thing was that I was yeah, I was quite happy to buzz around lots of different groups of friends, and I'd say really from my high school years especially, I should really mention my good friend Helm, who has he's just been like a brother to me my entire life. I've known him since he was 6, and the guy had sideburns at the age of 7. He's that much of a man. He is absolutely hardcore, and yeah, he's incredibly artistically talented. He's built for war, and at the same time peace and debate and arguments, and he's just wonderful. I think the world of him. Similarly with my other good friend Luke, I'd say that the two Lukes are probably the best friends that I had at high school. Luke Andrews and Luke Kenyon, that is. Luke Kenyon is now in Japan. He's married to a wonderful woman called Yoko, and they have a lovely baby boy at the moment. In a way, I'm kind of hoping they have more kids, because if they turn out anything like Haruki, then they're going to be brilliant. So he's amazing. He's like a little Duracell bunny. Yeah. What else do we have? What would you name your kids? It's funny that actually I was just speaking about kids, and it says, "What would you name your kids?" In all honesty, I don't know. It's strangely one of those things that I find myself asking, like, if I ever had children, what would I call them? Well, I suppose really the only things I could do right now is geek out a little bit and say something along the lines of River, but not after Phoenix. Actually, after Summer Glowe's character in Firefly, because River is absolutely superb, completely and utterly mental, but quite superb. And I'm kind of, although I don't really want to be cruel to kids, I don't really want to give them a ridiculous name like Destiny or something like that. But at the same time, I don't want to give them a standard name like Jack or James or anything like that. I think those names are kind of they're very traditional, and I'm not really a traditional person. So I don't know. I suppose I really have stock, not being a traditional person, but I really have stock in the Viking belief of you'll know a child's name when you meet them for the first time, and you can't know that until you sort of hold them in your arms, and I think at that point you'll know. But yeah, who knows? One day I may have kids, I may not. You never know. If I do, I'm going to try my best to give them nice names. It's kind of difficult as well because my surname's kind of distinctive. If I was to call a kid Jack, then they'd probably get bullied all the way to school because Jack Diamond. Well, the last and final question here says, who do you want to answer the survey next? Well, really, it's two people. Two people. The most I'd like to pass this on to, simply because it sort of puts it further into the giant social group that is on YouTube. The first one is a young lady who paid me a tremendous compliment today, which has got me feeling very introspective and thoughtful on this blustery evening, and that's Marie Florido. If she's out there, and maybe she'll see this, I don't know. But yeah, I'd especially like to see her take the survey. And the second one is my friend who I was editing some video with earlier on, and his name is Elliot Mulhall. Although I have to think about that because everyone just calls him El or Mothers or Blondie or Skinny or something along those lines. But yeah, it'd be good to hear what they have to say. But in the meantime, thanks very much for spending 12 minutes of your time, and have a good evening.